All right, so what I want to do now is I think I'm going to jazz up that font a little bit more. Let's go back in. So this is where we left off. And what I want to do is I think I want to make the font a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to select the layer with the words Alexandra. And if I want to reactivate the type layer, I double click on the T. If I want to reactivate the effects, I double click where it says effect. And in this case, I think what I'll do is I'll apply a stroke to the text. I'll come over and click on stroke. That's going to activate my stroke. And then I can set the size of the stroke by clicking and dragging. Right now the stroke is white. It's showing me the stroke here, but this really doesn't help me much. I like seeing it on the app object itself. I'm going to change the color of the stroke. I can change the position of the stroke on the inside, the outside, and the type of stroke. It could be a gradient or a pattern. I'm just going to leave it on color. And what I want to do is I'm going to click here, and instead of picking a color, I'm going to sample the color in the document. I'm going to hit that color and pick that yellow and click OK. And then I'm going to drag that stroke up and make it nice and thick. That looks great. And now what I think I'll do is I'll go back over to inner shadow, and I'll add an inner shadow on the inside of the text here. Just give it a little bit of little perk, and then I'll go back to the drop shadow, and I'm going to adjust the drop shadow, make it a little bit wider and a little bit thicker around the edges. Click OK, and I've got this really cool effect here. That looks really, I like that. So now what do I want to do? I don't want to have to do all that work again for the other letters. What I can do is I can right click on my layers, and I can choose copy layer style, click over in the other text layer, right click and choose paste layer style, and I'll just paste it right in. Now let's say I want to use this layer style again later. I'm going to double click and open up effects, and all the effects that I've made are shown right here inside of this box, and I can save this and reuse it. So if I click new style and I give it a name, it's going to remember. In this case, I'm asking it to remember any layer effects. I could also ask it to remember blending options. I can choose for it to be part of my current library. I click OK. I click OK, and what I've done is I've saved that layer style. If I go to Window and choose styles, it'll be in here. There's the new style that I've created. And so I can drop that down anytime I want on another object. So I've got some text on the screen. It says cool outfits. I'm going to free transform that up. And if I wanted to apply that style to it, let's hit the commit button. I just click on that, and it applies it immediately. So in this case, it's a little overboard, right? So it's a little too much. I can make it a little bit bigger, but what I might want to do is edit the layer style. And what I can do is just go in and, for instance, decrease the amount of the drop shadow, or decrease the amount. Actually, what I do is I want to decrease the amount of the stroke. I'll double click directly on the stroke, change the size of that stroke. I can go into the inner shadow, change the amount of that inner shadow. And so what we did here was we took that text and we applied a layer style to it. And then I showed you how to copy a layer style and paste it into another object. Anything that's anything that's floating on transparent pixels, I can apply that layer style to. And then I showed you how to save a layer style as part of your Photoshop styles menu and reapply it anytime you want. If you create really cool layer styles, you can save those and reuse them.